Hello again. I hope you've all had a great New Year's Day. This is now January 2nd. So I've been doing some work for my job and listening on this Drake R4C to people talking on 20 meters, which has been fun. So I bounce around between 20 meters and 40 meters. So you have to flick this to go to 40 and turn the preselector to 40. However, this preselector was sticky, and if I went ever to 15 meters or below, it would stick and jam. And so many people think, okay, well, this knob, which uses bearings in here, is faulty and it needs to get replaced. I read a forum like that, and I thought, well, okay, how do I? There it is down there. That brass shaft turning is the preselector. So I greased it. I greased this like a week ago or something, and it didn't really help it. And since it relies on friction, I'm thinking, well, the grease might not help it at all, but I would think that would need to be greased. Anyway, so today I kind of took the lid off this thing again. I was thinking, how can I quickly remedy this situation? And what I found is really cool. So Drake, in their wisdom, has this spring tensioner on the back of the preselector cage. And that tensioner basically will allow these little pulleys to be on a rod. So they're basically on a system that when this tensioner pushes down, you'll see this bottom pulley here, which I'll try to bring into focus here. The bottom pulley will have tension on the system. So you'll see it move down when I push this little piece of metal down here. It'll move down a bit. Well, it's not moving a whole lot, but suffice it to say that'll put tension on the pulley. So anyway, I found that pulley down there was jammed. It just was like rusted shut. So what I did was I took off the spring tension that loads this pulley, and then you can basically test this pulley with a screwdriver. So that's what I did, and I basically came down here and just tried to move the pulley with a screwdriver, and it wouldn't move. There, now you can see I can move it. So that really fixed the problem. Once I was able to move this pulley around with a screwdriver, then I knew I was home free. And it was rusted, so I just put a shot of WD-40 in there. And let me find the WD-40 can here. Yeah, just a shot of this. Not much at all. Just one tiny little burst of it, because you don't want to get this stuff into the radio cans. You don't want to get WD-40 into here or anywhere, just on that pulley. So that's what I did, and I took a screwdriver to massage the pulley and give it some encouragement to move. And once it moved, I found that I'm good to go. So I thought, well, maybe these cans aren't aligned up right. It looks like some of these cans might have some friction in them, and I tried to align them just by giving them a push here and there. And that didn't help this rack. It still would stick. So what really was the culprit was that bottom pulley. And now my spring tensioning isn't even on the pulleys. It's just running idle. But yet I can now move the preselector pretty much through its range, even without the spring tensioners on, and it works. So that might give you some encouragement if your preselector on your Drake is sticky. Check everything for ease of motion first before you blame the preselector mechanicals. So yeah, so now I can go through a whole range, and you might really be wearing this thing out if your slug rack here is jammed with rust or the pulleys don't turn very well. You might ruin your preselector friction clutch by just having to force it all the time. So yeah, this is nice and smooth now. I should have checked this like a week ago. I just kept kind of nudging it. So, but usually with a radio, things are irritating, and you use a radio, day after day. You want to fix what's irritating, and so that is working great. So, I also put some grease onto these top pulleys because these are greasable. And so what you can do is you can push this little rod over and then access the journals down there on the axle to grease these pulleys. So I did put some of my favorite grease that some kind person said to buy on a radio forum for antique radios, and this stuff really works great for greasing the the PTO innards in, I guess, this rack here. So that's that. And the last thing I'll do is I'll put this spring tensioner back up, and this issue is going to be done. You'll find that I'll have full use now of the rack. In fact, let's go back to standby here. I turned off the radio so I wouldn't shock myself, but let's put this back up here for a minute and see how things work. Always one hand. There we go. That one's on. And I'll try not to scratch the radio with these needle nose. There, that's back. There, now the pulleys are tensioned. Let's give it a go off a standby here. Okay, now we're on 40 meters. Gonna go down to the end here. Yeah. It works pretty good. Yeah, so I couldn't really do this too well before, and now it's easy to use. It feels a lot easier to turn it too. It's really silky. So yeah, if your radio is hard to turn here, inspect your rack here to see if it's all smooth. Makes you want to go through the other drakes I have in the pile here and see if they're all screwed up and fix them. So that's that on 40. There are people on 20 meters here yapping away. Let's see, there we go. Now I can go there easily. I don't get really great signals into this thing with a 240-foot wire. I also haven't aligned this receiver. I find that this section here isn't really lining up too well, so I'm suspecting one of these tubes is weak. I gotta go through this and align it, but anyway. I did a real crude first alignment of it. That's 20 meters. Here's 15. There's no one around 15, but at least now I can go to 15 and pre-select it easily. It was a battle before, and of course there's nobody on here. But there's always signals from FT8, so the band is open. No sideband though. It's kind of a shame. I guess if I called CQ, if I could call CQ, I would. But there's nobody on. Alright, what about 10 meters then? 28.5. Well, yeah, that works pretty well. Nobody ever on here, but that's how it is. Okay, so what about 80 meters? There's 80. There's 80. Not much going on. How about FT8? Something there. Anyway, I did put a 160 meter crystal in this radio. The crystal cost me like almost $30, which is depressing. Any part for these old radios, people on eBay really rip you off bad. So anyway, go here. I put the crystal number 1. In fact, there's the crystal right there. And now I can go to 160 without hassling with this PTO. This preselector did not like going to the lower part of the dial here before. Let's see how it works now. Okay, got that. Just go down. There it is. No habla español, poquito. Anyway, it's nice to use this now. I can use it like a regular radio without too many headaches. AM radio. Nobody really on 160. Anyway, that gives you an idea of how you can improve the preselector physical motion on this thing and really get these slugs to rock out here and just have a better experience with your Drake. Although I question the sanity of my even touching these old radios, because you can buy a new one for like $1,200. It does everything a lot better than this radio does, I guess. But part of it is the nostalgia, and part of it is having the tactile feedback on the old controls. I don't know. That's why people like these. Okay. Well, thanks for watching. Yeah. So I still gotta clean up some of the polish I put in here to polish this thing out. Get some of that crud out of here. Do some minor details in here. They had felt for the filters here, and that looks pretty bad. But anyway, it takes a long time to get these things cleaned up and fixed. It's a real long time. This one, it came out okay, but it had a lot of crud that was baked in here that I really couldn't get out. This thing took a lot of scrubbing, and it still isn't too good. But you don't want to scrub these too hard and wear the markings off. And it's a fine line between over cleaning it and breaking it. This one also had the, this thing came from the Antique Radio Society, I think, in the Bay Area, who are nice people, very nice people. So anyway, this one had the crystal calibrator bouncing around in the chassis when I received it, and the crystal here broke. So I've ordered a new crystal, which was $25 or $30 or something, the shipping. And I used some epoxy, JB Weld, to put this thing back. It did a pretty good job. So now I got to pull this back out and get the crystal in there and see if it works. It might need a circuit here. Somebody had this thing in. This was in, but the pins weren't connected right. So we'll see if this thing still works once I get a crystal. And that's a